Welcome to Chat GCG, genuine conversations of growth, contributions, and goals. At Chat GCG.
I think we just keep going.
So,
DMH Way presents. Chat GCG, a DMH Way podcast.
welcome to Chat GCG, genuine conversations on growth, contributions, and goals. At Chat GCG, our goal is to expose you to authentically intelligent heroes of DMH. I'm Rod Cowan, facilitator of the DMH Way.
And I'm Daishan Knox, supervisory specialist with the DMH Way.
Awesome. And we're back with episode 4. Today, we're speaking with Superintendent Rebecca Hann at Southeast Missouri Residential Services, aka SEMORS. Thank you, Becky, for joining us.
Oh.
Now, before we jump in, we want to do some easy questions, some softball questions to get you going before we dive into the really difficult stuff.
Okay.
All right. So 4 questions for you. 1, where do you work? 2, what do you do? 3, how long have you been with DMH? And the last question, what is your guilty drink of choice? HR appropriate, DMH appropriate, but drink of choice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that introduction. My name is Becky Hann, and I work at Southeast Missouri Residential Services, otherwise known as SEMORS. We have a campus in Sikeston and Poplar Bluff, and we support a campus program, an ISL program, and a crisis program. I serve as a superintendent here, and when you ask me what I do, that kind of changes from every day, but I feel like my bottom line job is just to ensure the health and safety of the individuals we support here, and that they can live the best life in the least restrictive setting is probably a good summary. I've been here for 16 years with DMH, and my guilty pleasure, work appropriate drink of choice would definitely be a Coca-Cola Classic.
Nice. There we go.
None of the other flavors, just a standard Coca-Cola Classic.
Just classic, nothing else. Just classic is the best.
The old school.
Yes, old
You're
school.
not from Atlanta
Absolutely.
at all, are you?
No.
Okay. Everybody in Atlanta, everything is Coke.
Oh, well, I'm from Iowa, so I think it's pop up there.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So pop. So thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit better. And now I'm going to kick it over to Daishan. He's got some more in-depth stuff for you.
All right. So, Becky, we're going to get into our first GCG question. So we're going to talk about growth. And so when you think about your career, 16 years is amazing. So I've been married almost 16 years. So you've been working with DMH
Congratulations.
that amount of time. So congrats to you. So thinking about your 16-year career, what would you say has been the biggest way you've grown in those 16 years?
Well, the biggest point of growth that I would have to say would be when I transitioned from a fiscal manager with Sikeston Regional Office and Poplar Bluff Regional Office to the superintendent at SEMORS. That was a significant transition, quite a different focus on my responsibilities. And that, and then it was a week before we went on lockdown for COVID.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very challenging position, and I'm still learning every day.
Yeah.
Now that we're doing business as usual again.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So talk about stress upon stress. So you're in a new role, and then the panorama, as some people call it, the pandemic hits, and you're like, okay, not only am I running this facility, but I'm running this facility in lockdown, trying to keep people safe. Oh gosh, that had to be pretty stressful, right?
It really was, but I was so new. I don't know that I realized how stressful it was.
Okay.
And truly, we had so much support during that time from just the local team members and central office. And for those of you who were around at that time, I mean, we had multiple meetings, and sometimes the guidelines would change literally within minutes of when we were starting to implement one thing. New information would come out that would lead us in a different direction of, ensuring that health and safety. So really, I felt so supported during the entire time. And it was such an environment that we were just in it together, all with that same common goal, which was just to keep people safe.
Yes, absolutely. Do you miss PCR testing?
Not at all. not even a little bit. That was it. I don't miss those first tests either. If you remember those, how far they would have to go up into the nasal cavity.
I called that the brain scrape.
Yes, it was. And one nurse, Annette, you know who you are. She did my first one, and she's so sweet and kind, but it definitely was not a comfortable experience.
Oh boy. Yeah, goodness. Okay, so in terms of the support that you had, would you say that during that process, as you're assuming this new role as superintendent, was there anyone that was instrumental in terms of transferring a skill to you that was integral to your success as superintendent?
There's too many to count, really.
Okay.
I could give you specific names if you want me to. We can start with April Maxwell. She was my supervisor at that time, and she was an amazing mentor and leader. But not just her, really the entire superintendent team. My current supervisor now, Sheila Wenning, was a superintendent at that time, and I remember talking to her and Dr. Stanislaus on the football field during my son's game.
Oh wow!
On getting just strategizing on, we were low on nurses, and Sheila was so kind, to offer us assistance. And, at one time we had all but one nurse with a positive COVID case.
Oh, wow.
So it was definitely, and that's just one, the weekly, daily, sometimes calls that we had with the entire central office leadership. It really helped us all know that no one was alone, that we were in this together, and we were supporting each other.
Yeah.
And that was so critical to kind of keep that calm.
Yeah, that's amazing. And back in those days, SEMORS was the Sykeston campus in the Poplar Bluff. It wasn't ISL yet.
Yes, we did have ISLs also.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, you did have ISLs.
It's a pretty small program, though. At that time, I think we had 14 individuals that we were supporting.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it was definitely an experience that hopefully we will never, ever repeat.
Yes.
Right.
I totally get that. Yeah. Wow. That's huge. So learning those three cultures, but you had the support of Sheila and April and the superintendent team. Cool. Well, Rod, I'll pass it to you.
So I'm going to say that you're very humble and you don't always talk about everything that you do. That's absolutely amazing.
Oh.
So some of the things that I think about that, because I've had the opportunity to know you for a little bit, right?
We have worked together.
We have. And so two of the things that stick out most to me is, one, your willingness to be inventive and innovative in what you do. And you're always striving to push new things forward. You want to see not only teams succeed, but you want to see SEMORS succeed, and you want to see DMH succeed, and you put yourself out there. You put people above yourself because you want them to do more than they thought they could possibly do. And you live that every day, and you show that every day. And the other thing, I'm going to throw this out there. I'm not going to throw a name out there, but recently there is a gentleman who moved into a new role because you saw that he needed he wanted to do more, right? And you saw that in him, and you allowed him to go into this new role. And now he is so incredibly invested and happy because you recognize something in somebody. And that's just one scenario, because you do that with people all the time. You have a feeling that they can do more, and you help them succeed. And holy cow, you put the right people in the right positions, and now you're watching them grow and explode and get excited about what they do.
Oh.
And it's amazing. It's amazing. And that's you. And I think you discount that a lot.
Well, thank you, Rod. That is I don't deserve that
You
top
do.
level of
You
praise,
do.
but it is definitely a team effort. And none of the successes that we do see at SEMORS could occur without every single team member that we have. It is not a one person thing ever.
You like how she shifts it away? She's like, okay, it's not just me though. It's let me push that
I
back.
really am humble.
Aw.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but seriously, just we talk about COVID, we talk about just daily situations. I am humbled by what I see our staff do for the individuals we support. It's absolutely incredible I mean, I don't even know if I have words. It's overwhelming to see the compassion and the care, and it doesn't stop. You know, they stay there and they care about those individuals, and it's truly why we have the success that we do have.
Yeah. And we talk about skills transfer, right? Because this is the skills transfer month. Sometimes that skills transfer is role modeling that skill. And you're doing that. They have compassion and they have that drive to do it because you're role modeling that for them. You're transferring that skill by role modeling. So I think that's a really important part of that. And that's very cool that you do that.
You've been part of our history too.
A little bit.
And you have also assisted us to, achieving new goals and new challenges.
Well, I appreciate that, but this is you.
I'm redirecting.
I know you're redirecting. You're deflecting. You're redirecting.
Thank you.
But kind of a follow-up to that. So what would you identify then as your proudest contribution to DMH?
Well, I thought about that because, you did kind of give me a heads up that you might ask me that.
Right.
And I truly don't have an answer. I don't think it's been accomplished yet because we've got so many more things that we are capable of doing and that we are setting that path to achieve. One of the biggest things is I really want our staff to realize that they are our greatest asset. And that's why since I first heard about the DMH Way, I was so excited about it because it's a way that we have a common language.
Yeah.
And, so many of the concepts are things, if you've ever taken a leadership class or been exposed to anything of team building, it's the same concepts. It may be just presented a bit differently, but those core concepts are there. And having that opportunity to speak that same language, I think is very, very beneficial. We walk around and we joke about, do you have your tool belt on? What are you pulling out to fix this situation? And we hold each other accountable. But again, it's a common language. So I got a little bit off track there, but my proudest contribution will be when I see that come to just the daily instinctual reactions I see from our team.
Okay.
So,
and so you mentioned the DMH Way,
yes,
right? You mentioned that in there, and we talked about the skills transfer process, and I talked about so I stole your thunder a little bit, talking about role modeling there with the skills transfer process. But how have you implemented the skills transfer process to make contributions and growth within DMH?
How have I implemented that? Well, like I said, we kind of got on board right away when the first foundation session started happening and then the ambassador training happened. I talked to our senior management team and we kind of made the decision that we wanted our top positions at SEMORS to become ambassadors and have that training. Because if we are not involved and shaping and modeling those desired behaviors ourselves, then how do we expect anyone else on our team to do that? So that is the first thing we did to implement it. Then we have we have definitely got a lot of bling that we've put up in our office. We want to keep it in people's forefront when they round a corner in the hallway. I want them to see a poster or see a reminder of this is the DMH Way. This is just business as usual. This is how we do things. And then we hold each other accountable. We have a weekly ambassador
Mhm.
check-in call, or sometimes we have to reschedule or cancel based on other responsibilities that we have, but it's a check-in.
Yeah.
We've also dedicated a staff to help out with employee engagement. And that's hello, Doris. I have to say hi to Doris. So that's
Shout out to
important. Yeah.
Doris.
Shout out to
Hey,
Doris.
Doris.
Yes. We love Doris. But so Doris has spent many, many years with DMH, and
Mhm.
she has spent a lot of time just doing leadership walks and just connecting. She's worn so many hats that she understands so many different roles here, from the direct support professional to the superintendent's office.
Yeah.
She's worked with Office of Constituent Services, so she understands the stakeholder concerns, and it's just she's really been able to connect with a lot of folks and let them know that this is who we are, this is what we do, and it's not going anywhere. Another thing I guess that we've done is we've started incorporating the DMH Way into our NEO classes.
Mhm.
And you guys have been very helpful with that, and we're
It's
excited.
so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. And then with that, with our onboarding in general, we do like a 30, 60, 90-day check-in.
Mm-hmm.
And with that initial staff who they interviewed with, to just check in. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
What can we do to support? How's your NEO training? How is that aligning with what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. And that's all the steps there, because you explain, you're demoing, you're practicing with coaching, you're observing, and then you're giving feedback. Every one of those steps, and you're just doing that on a day. It's not something, it's something you're marrying in, it's part of your day to day. You just made it part of your DNA. And I think that's pretty cool.
And that's what I want. I don't want people to think, and I seriously visualize a tool belt at times. And if I'm faced with a situation, I do think, okay, do I need to go through the de-escalation steps? Do I need to pull tides to get more information on this? Have I missed some steps in the skills transfer process? And that is one of my, I guess, professional goals, is to get better at that, because it is easy when you're busy and you're maybe putting out fires and you say, do this, just do this, do A, B, and C. And then you go on and you go on to the next chore. Well, did you really give that person an opportunity to ask questions? Did you demonstrate did you really give a good explanation at first? And then did you demonstrate what you would like them to do? And did you give any opportunities for practice? Did you get to observe them doing it? Did you give them any feedback, or did you just bark an order at them or instructions and then go on, and then, a month later, oh, well, I guess there wasn't clarity in what I really wanted to be achieved in that. So.
Okay.
Nice. Cool.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about goals, Becky. When you think about, and we talk about in foundation sessions, how we all have strengths and we all have areas of opportunities. So, some people, they think about goals as, I want to go here, I want to be in this spot, that spot. But when we're talking DMH Way, we're thinking goals of, how can I be the best me? So what is a professional goal that you have for 2025, how you can be the best Becky Hann, and one personal goal that you have for 2025?
Okay. Well, professional goals, I always have a lot. But one is, I want to provide better clarity to the folks that I work with and support as their supervisor, in what their roles are in the organization. Again, just like any organization, we have things that seem to happen almost daily that we're not anticipating.
Right.
And it can get us off our path and our goals just for that particular day. So having clarity in what the expectations are for each person, so we're not duplicating and there isn't uncertainty or just, frustration, I guess, on who's doing this and who's doing this. I think it will overall be better. So better clarity in our roles. With that, hopefully less turnover, better staff retention. Then with that, higher capacity of the individuals, the numbers of people that we can support, because we all know there is definitely a need in the state of Missouri for a way to support more individuals who are part of the DMH family.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think all that going together will ultimately be able to, align SEMORS with where we'd like to be in the next year.
Yeah.
Personal goal is exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to find more time for self-care. And with that, I have a 13-year-old daughter, Gracie, and she is just right in the center of the volleyball world of club play. And it's very competitive, and I'm trying to help her with some of her skills. And part of that is me holding myself accountable as well. So we just started this week. It's been a lot of Advil for me so far, but we're going to do it for the next 30 days. And then we're going to reset and celebrate with something.
Yes.
So.
Biofreeze and icing are clutch. So
yes, that is something.
Good.
Yes.
That's awesome. But I love how, in terms of your goals, I was catching the C's. You were talking about communicating with clarity so that you enlarge the capacity.
Yes.
And then some of those other buzzwords start coming to mind, crisis programs and reconceptualization, just to really be able to do more of what DMH, can do through SEMORS. That's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, Rod, I'm going to let you bring us home with the lightning round.
All right.
I'm ready.
So first, shout out. Thank you to you for taking us and showing us behind the curtain, letting us see parts of your success, sharing that with us is not always easy. So transparency is one of our core values, right? Yes. So thank you for being transparent and taking us through that.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. And now we're going to do some healthy division, right?
Okay.
We like healthy division. So we're going to do the show me lightning round. So I'm going to fire these off. I'm going to read these off because I want to get this right.
Okay.
Ready.
So you ready? Here we go. Don't think too much about it. Just throw it out there.
Okay.
So Jack Stack's Barbecue or Emo's Pizza?
Emo's Pizza.
Yep. Woohoo. Another one for Emos, Daishawn.
Oh my goodness. What are we going to do about this? This is just
We're going to have an Emos party is
what
what we're going to do.
On the west side. Because
Emos is amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
I agree. St. Louis Zoo or Kansas City Aquarium?
St. Louis Zoo. But I've never been to the aquarium, so.
There's an aquarium at the St. Louis Zoo. I agree with you. St. Louis Zoo. So Branson or Lake of the Ozarks?
Definitely Lake of the Ozarks.
Okay, why?
I'm just not into the Branson, the lights and the shows. And now that I'm a parent, I probably should give it another chance and would probably enjoy it more. But the Lake of the Ozarks is definitely more appealing to me.
Okay. Cardinals or Royals?
I guess Cardinals. I'll go with Cardinals because it's closer.
Cardinals,
it's closer.
Okay. It's close.
Yeah,
okay.
It's closer.
Panera or McAllister's?
Panera.
Okay. Daishawn, you have feelings about that?
Panera's
Get it out.
It's just so expensive with such small portions. I mean, they taste great, but.
All right.
Yeah, but man, their bagels.
Yeah, when they don't burn them.
All right. There's enough division. So, Mark Twain or T.S. Eliot?
That's an easy one. Mark Twain. I am named Becky. I grew up on the Mississippi River. I had no chance of not liking Mark
the
Twain.
Way it is.
Yeah,
Mark
that's
Twain.
Just
Okay. And then Disney or Universal Studios?
I would say Disney, but I have not been to either one. Okay. I know.
Never.
I need to take my kids, and someday we will go.
Yeah.
Have you been to them?
I have.
Okay.
So as a kid, I went to Universal Studios. So that was in 90-something. So I vaguely remember that was back when Jaws was open. But I want to go see the Harry Potter theme park and Mario Kart. But Disney's, they just take the cake. They got like mini campuses across Florida and then the two in Cali. So yeah.
Have you?
No, never been to either one. I have problems with patience and lines. So
that's kind of me
I just haven't done
it. Yeah, and we just, we go camping on the weekends in the summertime, and we're big dog people, and we try to kind of just get away from everything and just kind of hit the reset button and go fishing and
That might need to be a new question. What best camping
Unplug.
site?
Yeah. Well, for us, we just keep a seasonal camper at a
Oh,
local lake. That
okay.
way you can just go.
nice.
You just go and have everything there.
Good deal.
But everything there includes memory foam mattress, air
Oh.
conditioning, Wi-Fi.
Okay,
I mean,
Glamping.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
totally
glamping.
glamping. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Good,
yeah.
good.
All right. Dashawn, you got any final words for us before we break?
Well, Becky, thank you so much for joining us today, letting us come and take over your office. So,
No problem.
it's been great. I think people are going to love to hear this, and you're going to be the one to make SEMORS go viral
Oh, we'll see what happens.
in a good way.
Yes,
In a
I
good
was
way,
gonna,
yeah.
that was implied.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh.
that's all we got. So thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Chat GCG. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chat GCG, a DMH Way podcast. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Scan the QR code for the DMH Way website.